refers to Betty Davis from her appearance in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. He says this quote, in the movie, Betty wears disgusting cake makeup smeared on her face and underneath her eyes with deep, dark black eyeliner. So that was the look that he chose to go with. And there you go.
Wow. That was a creepy movie, man.
And so I think that was in 68. And they had the name. They had, for the most part, the
Where'd they get
band.
the name from, though? You know?
I think he just pulled that name out of his
Okay.
keister. Yeah.
Out of his phone book, probably. Remember they used to have phone books?
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, I'm looking up and down right now. It doesn't say anything about where he actually got the name.
Well,
Yeah.
first he landed on Lipschitz, and then he was like, all right, let me flip some pages. Let me go to the back a few letters. Welcome back to Into the Music. I'm here with Greg, and my name is Chris. And Greg, what do you got for me to react to?
Yeah, so I got a song from Mike Poole, right? You know, Mike was an early contributor
Yep.
to Kofi, right? And then
Big support.
then he's cooled off, you know. And he's coming back with a bang, I think, because I've heard the song.
You think so? Okay.
I think it's called Halo of Flies. Not
Okay.
fries as in French fries, right? But those little things that get in your
Yeah.
face and stuff, we hate them. I think you find a lot of them in Georgia, right, where you live. Ugh.
It's like a Lord of the Flies thing where, you know, they got the pig's head on the stick.
Well, I
right?
think that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Alice
it's from
Cooper. Halo. Alice Cooper, man. Alice Cooper sings a song.
Okay. All right.
Halo of Flies. Let me know what you think.
Okay.
really came as no surprise. But I still did destroy her, and I will smash Halo World. Across the ocean, where no one could see, and I put a time bomb in your submarine. Goodbye to old friends, those secrets in hand. We phoned in up papers and counterfeit plans. You never will understand.
Hey, so what do you think about the song and Alice Cooper?
about the flies.
Yeah.
You know, this okay. There's a lot in this song.
Yeah.
There are so many change ups.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, more than a Black Sabbath song, right? Um, so I really like the intro a lot. Okay. And then when the singing, I don't know how far into the singing, but
Can you
I'm-
wait, can you define though, elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by the intro? Are you
oh,
talking about the first, no, really, are you talking about the first 2 minutes or so? Just
yeah,
that music?
yeah,
Okay,
before the
great.
singing, yeah.
I thought that was phenomenal. I was ready to put this thing on my playlist, and I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
Okay. And it's tough with all those changes with just hearing it once to really
Sure.
get descriptive of every area. That's my
Yeah.
excuse anyway. Then when the singing started, now I just want to make clear, like on some Alice Cooper songs, I like his singing, but on some I don't overall. This one I wasn't crazy about it. However, everything else in the song I thought was great, and there was even in the melody there was a little snippet of that song, "My Favorite Things."
Yes.
That
Yep.
I guess
Yeah.
Julie Andrews made popular, right?
Yeah, that
Um,
was pretty cool.
That was cool, and then in the middle, around the middle of the song, there was like and I don't know if I'm accurate on this, but to me, like a Mid-Eastern kind of sound. Okay. There was also towards the end, maybe 2/3 through or so. Well, the bass was still changing up, just like all the other instrumentation, right? But at one point, the bass was just going back and forth. It's one interval that sounded like the ending of "If 6 Was 9" by
Yeah,
Hank.
it was that repeating bass line. It was like from
Right.
minute 6 onward. Yeah.
From a minute 6 onward. No, I mean at the end where it just did the two notes. Dum, dum, dum,
Right. I
dum.
think right. Well, I counted at minute 6.
Oh.
I mean, that was towards the end of the song.
Maybe I didn't notice it till towards
Wait,
the end.
are you talking about when it first started, that bass line, and it was kind of like just the bass, and then the drums kicked in,
I'd have
and then
to
there's a
hear
little
it.
military style drum too that kind of came with it? and
I
all?
don't
Okay.
know. It was too
I
much
think
happening.
it might be because you talk about the end, and that was at the end, and the bass line stuck out. I liked it. I thought the bass line was
You know what
really
happens?
cool.
No, I liked it too. But
Yeah.
what happens is when I'm listening, I'm trying to see what individual instruments are doing. So if I focus on one, I ignore another.
Yeah.
I find it hard to get the overall sound and the individual instruments simultaneously.
It sounds like though with this song, you have really absolutely taken note of like a lot, man.
Yeah,
That's
well,
really good.
yeah, but I was just thinking though, when we do a song that's fairly uniform throughout, then you can listen to the overall sound
You're
for a
right.
little while, then go more, diving into
You're right.
hearing what the individual instruments are doing.
But with a
And,
song like this, so many change
but we
ups.
didn't have
Yeah.
that benefit. I didn't have that
Yeah.
benefit with
Yeah.
this song. I have to hear it. So this definitely asks to be listened to again.
Absolutely.
So I was really happy with this. I don't know much Alice Cooper, but I do want you to tell me something. From what I understand of the history of Alice Cooper, is that it's the name of the band.
Yes.
Here's what I heard, is that they kept changing their name, right? And they happened to have that name at the time. They made it big or something, or were discovered, right? I could be totally wrong on that. But you've been doing one of these, yeah, it's close, kind of. But what's the name? What's the singer's name? Because now we think of Alice Cooper, we think of him, right?
Let's go to Wiki.
I hope Wikipedia is right about such things, because we look at that almost exclusively.
Looking at Wiki in 64, right? 16-year-old Fernier, and his name was Vincent Collier Fernier. That is Alice Cooper.
That's who we know as Alice Cooper.
That's who we know as Alice Cooper, right? In
Vincent
64.
Fernier. Okay.
Yeah. So in 1964, 16-year-old Fernier was eager to participate in the local annual Cortez High School Letterman's Talent Show. So he gathered four fellow cross country. He ran. I remember reading that about him. Cross country.
Oh, he was a cross country runner.
He was, yep. And he got some teammates to form a group for the show, and they named themselves the Earwigs.
You had other bands like, the Crickets and the Beatles. So
well, that's it. They dressed up in costumes and wigs to resemble the Beatles. And they performed several parodies of Beatles songs with the lyrics modified to refer to the track team.
So they were the original Ruddles.
I guess so. I think you're right. So like in their rendition of Please Please Me, for example, okay, in the line, last night I said these words to my girl, was replaced with last night I ran 4 laps for my coach. So of those other 4 guys, only one of them, his name was Glenn Buxton, he knew how to play an instrument, the guitar. So he played guitar while the rest mimed on their instruments. So, they got an overwhelming response from the audience and won the talent show, right?
So if they mimed, they were just playing a sound of a backing track.
I think so. Yeah, they just mimed the instrument. Yeah. I think so. No, I don't know for sure, but because of the positive response, they went out and they got musical instruments from a pawn shop. And they proceeded to learn how to play those instruments, with Buxton doing most of the teaching, because again, he knew how to play guitar.
Right.
And as well as much of the early songwriting too. So Buxton played a major role here. So then they renamed themselves the Spiders, featuring Fernier.
They're moving up on the chain of life there.
Right, of the wildlife.
Features,
Yeah. Featuring next band name was the Seals.
Next band is like the Rodents.
The Rodents.
So
featuring Fernier on vocals, Buxton on the guitar, and other guys on other instruments, just for the sake of saving time here. So in 1966, the Spiders graduated from high school, and after North High School football player Michael Bruce replaced John Tatum on rhythm guitar, the band released their second single, Don't Blow Your Mind, an original composition that became a local #1 hit. In 1967, the band had begun to make regular road trips to LA to play shows. They soon renamed themselves Nazz and released the single Wonder Who's
Nazz, Nazz.
Yep. And with the single,
we've come across that word before in our reaction.
I think we have, yeah.
Yeah.
And the single Wonder Who's Loving Her Now, backed with future Alice Cooper track Lay Down and Die Goodbye. Around this time, drummer John Spear was replaced by Neil Smith. So everything's kind of like shifting and gelling. And here we go. So in 1968, the band learned that Todd Rundgren had also had a band named Nazz. I think that's where we came up with that. We talked about that name. So with Rundgren's band name Nazz, right? So Fernier knew that they had to rename themselves. So he's thinking, hey man, let's choose a name that's kind of like innocuous, right, and wholesome, in contrast to the band's image in the music. So he chose the name Alice Cooper, and in his 2007 book, Alice Cooper, Golf Monster, Cooper actually stated this, and he refers to Betty Davis from her appearance in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. He says this, quote, in the movie, Betty wears disgusting cake makeup smeared on her face and underneath her eyes with deep, dark black eyeliner. So that was the look that he chose to go with. And there you go.
That was a creepy movie, man.
And so I think that was in 1968. And they had the name. They had, for the most part,
where'd they get the name from, though? You know?
I think he just pulled that name out of his keister. Yeah.
Out of his phone book, probably. Remember they used to have phone books?
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, I'm looking up and down right now. It doesn't say anything about where he actually got the name.
First he landed on Lipschitz, and then he was like, all right, let me flip some pages. Let me go to the back a few letters.
So there you go.
So what's the Golf Monster thing? Is he a big golfer or something?
Yeah, that's a great question.
So I'm looking it up here, and because about the golfing, and
Yeah.
Apparently, he's been playing over, well, I don't know when this was written, but whenever this was written, it says that he took up golf over 35 years ago and once played 36 holes every day for a year.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
two complete rounds, man.
Well, think about it.
For a year, every day for a year.
He was a cross country runner when he was young. I mean, he was an
Yeah.
athlete. He was an
Yeah.
athlete, and I guess an athlete is always going to athlete, and doesn't
You know,
matter what he was doing on the rock stage.
Yeah, and that he was a cross country runner, and then him and his band, they shot up pretty quickly. Considering he and the other guys, except for the guitar player,
Yeah.
didn't know how to play any instruments. And then they have a hit like 4 years later, a big hit, right? Local with the second single. Then he takes up golf, so he's quite an achiever. And the other guys too.
Absolutely. That's why
Yeah,
he
that's pretty
is
cool.
who he is, and he's got, a wealth of music, and hey, he's
I
entertainer.
don't really, to be honest with you, I don't know much of this band stuff. So,
Me neither. Me neither.
I know the big ones. I'm 18.
Yeah.
School's out.
So what's really
That's about it in this one.
So what's really interesting is that when you go to Wiki, it lists a bunch of genres, for him, for
Mhm.
the band.
Mhm.
Hard rock, heavy metal, shock rock, glam rock, a couple other things too.
I was wondering about the glam thing because the way he's
But
dressed in the video.
Nothing about progressive rock. To me, this one song right here is progressive. It
But
just had,
you remember I said I got to look up what progressive exactly means.
Okay,
and I never did.
until
so.
you do so, this just has, listen to other progressive rock songs. This to me has that feel of progressive
Yeah.
rock. It just
Right.
it's very different. It's unique. It's got it has a guitar sort of sounding like almost like a symphony instrument, almost like a string. There was something with that was just sounding more than just a regular guitar, especially in certain parts. It had more changes than I was gonna make a joke, but had more changes than like whatever.
I know you'd think I can't come up with anything
I
either.
can't. I'm just fried today. But it really, yeah. And here's the thing. I think I said it earlier in the reaction, that the first 2 or 3 minutes, I was ready to put this on a playlist. I was ready. I loved that beginning. And I'm not saying I hated all the other stuff. It's just that that those other changes, it didn't grab me like the beginning.
Mhm.
So like you, and I haven't listened to this a lot. I only listened to it once. So just like you, I need to go back and I need to
Right.
check it out.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna do the same thing. I have a feeling this will end up on a playlist too, because
yeah,
for me, because
it's almost
there
there
is
for me. Yeah.
there is a lot to it, and I just have a feeling it's gonna draw me in.
And that bass line, I gotta tell you though, at the end you were talking, it might be the same one that we're talking about. I loved it. It was simple, but it was repeating, and then the drums were coming in, a little military thing. That was really cool. So yeah. Just really quickly about this song. It was a 1973 single by Alice Cooper. It was actually taken off their 1971 album, Killer. But for some reason, they released this in the Netherlands 2 years later. The song was, according to Cooper's liner notes in the compilation, the definitive Alice Cooper. It was an attempt by the band to prove that they could perform King Crimson-like, here we go, King Crimson-like progressive rock suites, and was supposedly about a spy organization. So yeah, so I picked up pretty good on that progressive connection. Yeah, but I don't know if that was really like, I guess, hey man, we can do that. Now let's not do that anymore. I don't know.
Let's get back to our usual stuff.
Hey Mike, man, in the comments, just let us know if there's any more like progressive stuff from Alice Cooper. Just curious about that. So yeah, cool. Anything else, man?
No.
Yeah, take us out.
We're fairly thorough on this.
I think
okay. So. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like this, and subscribe if you haven't. And also hit the notification bell button if you have subscribed to get get notified every time we post a video. So that said, we will catch you next time on Into the Music.
See ya.